Yes.
Right, okay, welcome everybody. Well, you know what I mean? Okay, so the background, show people the background. So Hannah is sitting there going, people are complaining about the background. So you can see a mirror in the background. Jake, what do you think? Aesthetically, it could be better, right?
Is it pleasing?
And yet,
could
you speak into the microphone because nobody can hear you? I'm so angry.
I'm so happy you're not picking on me.
I think you look great, David. I think you look great.
No, but it's about the background, Jake. Welcome back, Jake. Jake was missing last week. But where were you, Jake? Why couldn't you make it?
I had my other job.
What other job, Jake?
My job in the bar, serving poison.
We were looking for girls who haven't exercised.
I'm so sorry.
We were looking for girls who haven't exercised.
I just wanted to see comments.
Okay. Jake, what's the name of your bar so we can give it a plug?
The Barber's Bar, Grange Gorman.
Grange Gorman?
Yeah.
I thought it was in Smithfield.
Smithfield, Grange Gorman, kind of same place. It's a bit made up, Grange Gorman, I think.
Okay.
It's a bit
do you know where Grange Gorman is, Hannah?
Grange Gorman is north Dublin North, on the north side.
How long have you been living in Dublin?
I think almost 20 years. I don't venture towards that area because I think Dublin North is quite dangerous and intimidating.
So we'll be with you in a second, Martina. Okay, we just need to get all this stuff out of the way. Anyway, so we give you a shout out to Baker's Bar.
The Barber's Bar.
The Baker's Bar.
The Barber's Bar.
The Barber, because I was thinking of Baker's Bar in Clonmel, the gig that I had to cancel. I'm also going to...
Did they cancel you?
Yeah, no, this was ages ago. I had a gig in Baker's Bar in Clonmel and only 10 tickets were sold and I had to cancel the fucking thing and I did it publicly and I said, but it turns out that it actually had sold out, but some fucking idiot hadn't figured out or hadn't told Aidan Killian can I just apologize?
Are you still gonna do that gig?
No, because I cancelled it, Hannah.
But you can obviously reschedule. That's, get a new date.
Yeah, you seem very happy. Where were you on the weekend for Valentine's? Did you go somewhere?
Yeah, I went to Wrocław, to Poland. I was taken for Valentine's weekend, treated to opera. And...
God. Actually, Paul Chowdhury, a friend of mine, a comedian. I just feel bad that we have to introduce our guest, for goodness sake. And I'm so delighted because... Well, do you want to introduce the show, Daniel?
All right. Sure,
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to And That's Why We're Not Together, starring David McSavage, Hannah Andrews, and special guest Martina
Ipsa. From Slovenia. Thank you, everyone. Welcome back, Jake. He was missing in action last week, and he arrived 6 minutes late, Hannah, today.
Yes, we're going to cut his wages. 6 minutes late, meaning 6% less. He's going to get
6% less. Sorry. And he went to the toilet. He ran through here like a bull in a china shop.
Yeah,
and it was Jake.
Charge him for toilet.
Just ran into the toilet. Yeah, pissed everywhere. Sorry, okay. Actually, that is one thing. Do you ever notice, Martina, or any... Well, the guys will notice. You go into a men's toilets versus a woman's toilets. It's always clean, the women's toilets. And the men's toilet, over the course of a night, it just... The piss just gets further and further away from the actual place you're supposed to piss in.
Oh, yeah, they're like... puddles of piss.
Yeah, because I think guys don't understand the way the penis is shaped, that the sort of piss dribbles down, and guys don't really know how to use their tool.
I just read there's a trend that men start sitting down on the toilet.
What do you think of penises, Martina?
I love the penis. Everybody knows that about me. I mean, as a lesbian, I'm so into them. It's crazy. More penises I see, the happier I get.
Wow, that's unusual.
I always think of them. I know it's unusual.
Yeah. What's your favorite type of penis?
What shape?
I don't know.
Are there types?
I don't know. I don't know what types.
I think there are different types and shapes.
Well, you tell us. You seem like an expert.
Yeah. Oh no. Nice one, Martina. 2 against 1. High five.
Yes. No, No.
Slut! Sorry.
Hey,
Sorry, Daniel.
Well-
I'm calling Daniel's mother a slut. That was done out of
think-
love. That's how we
I
express
think
affection.
nowadays when it's like equality, you know, I'm not a bigger slut as you are. You know, you can be called slut as well, male slut.
I'd love to be a slut.
he wishes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but like maybe you're not able to be a slut because you're not that popular.
Okay, Martina.
I feel like I got into the middle of something. I don't know. Like
Martina,
I feel like a
okay, can I
therapist.
just say it's kind of quite exciting in a way because Martina is originally from. Martina identifies as a Slovenian.
Yeah.
Now, Slovenia is a small country and it has a population of 2 million. You told me that the other day.
Yeah.
Can't stop talking about Slovenia. Slovenia this, Slovenia that. And then why don't you go back then if you love? No, okay, no. But the thing is, it is so small, isn't it? Like if we get popular. Like I'm semi-successful I'm semi-successful in Ireland. You know, it's like it's such a small country, and I suppose you know you get successful in Slovenia because it's such a small.
Yeah, no,
population.
it's just such a small market. I mean, most people would know me. Either they like me or hate me, but they know me.
So in other words, if you and I went to Slovenia and we were walking around places,
So
they'd be
everybody
going
would
like,
just
"Hey,
say,
Martina,"
Well, some
and
people,
I'd be like going, "Martina's my friend."
exactly. That's why we need to go to Slovenia for you to experience the fame. No,
Yeah.
no, it's just no. They would know me. Some of them would want to take a picture, but then some people just hate me. That's fine. Also,
Oh,
you know.
because of
Me. I'm a
Yeah.
terrible person. That's
but,
why.
So what have you done?
Well, what haven't I done?
no, I was going to suggest that is it homophobia or something? Homophobia.
Well, you know, it's really hard to call homophobia because people then always can be like, no, it's not that.
No, it's not,
It's
right.
just you suck.
Yeah.
But you know, I
Oh,
guess there's
yeah,
some
so-
of it in there. I'm pretty, you know, I say what I want, and I'm really on stage. So some people just don't like it.
And what would people know you from? What's the thing that sort of cemented you in the zeitgeist of Slovenian culture?
I will just lots of stand-up comedy. I mean, I performed everywhere. It was crazy. Just smaller villages to, you know, bigger things and theater plays, and I did all of it. TV, some of it.
But I read that you, Martina, you started stand-up comedy. Like you were, you know, with maybe some other
Yeah,
people.
there was a lot of us. Yeah.
There wasn't. I mean, it's like ex-communist countries,
Mm-hmm.
so there wasn't. So you started like 2005.
Yeah.
So before then, the same as in Poland, there wasn't stand-up comedy.
No, nobody knew
there
what
was a
stand-up
form
is.
like a cabaret, like sort of comedy theater, sort of sketches.
More sketch comedy than anything
sketches,
else. Yeah.
But never stand-up comedy.
No.
So how was it like to, you know, start that trend?
Well, it was strange. I was always dabbling in something. You know, I was writing and directing plays. The first play I directed and wrote, I was 16 or something like that. And I really liked that. But I kind of felt you don't have a direct connection with the audience. I didn't know how to call it. I just knew that that's what I miss, I guess. And then, you know, when we got internet and stuff like that, like I remember like the first time I got like a VHS tape of George Carlin.
Yeah.
I got it from one of my friends.
Blew your mind.
I was done. I was like,
And
this
what
is
was it about that let's go back to that time. Young Martina was what age?
So that was like 20 years ago. So yeah, I was
2005, and you're in your bedroom. What was the epiphany or that moment? What was the thing?
For me, it was with him talking about really hard topics in a way that people laugh about it.
Yeah.
It's the first time I saw anything like that, and I thought this is amazing because you can actually get through to people talking about topics. Because people, I think we're also fed up with all the bad information we get all the time, every time, that you don't even realize it anymore. You hear about an earthquake somewhere in the world, and you're like, 1 million people died, and you're like, yeah, okay, it doesn't compute anymore. It just doesn't.
Yeah,
touch
It's
us.
quite- you.
It's quite magic, isn't it? When you see that for the first time, or if you come
Yeah.
across that naturally in an
Yeah.
organic way.
He's like speaking your thoughts in a way, and you feel better because you don't feel that alone. And I was like, this is amazing. I wish I could do that one time.
I had that moment watching a Richard Pryor take for the first time. I think I was 21 or something.
Yes, yeah, it's a special thing when you see it for the first time. I think it's just wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
And what was the first time when you just went on stage and you got that feeling that you are in charge, that, you know, you see people laughing, that you're engaging with them?
She's never had that.
No. I'm trying to find it here in Ireland. That's why I came to see people laugh
No,
for the
but
first
obviously
time.
in your own language, you've got, I'm not saying that you don't in English, but, you know, in your own language, you really feel it. You really can do it. You can really get deep into the nuances of jokes and comedy and humor, you know.
No, it's the best feeling. Of course, it didn't happen at the beginning. You know, at the beginning, I was trying to be funny, so that failed miserably. You know, because I was writing like funny stuff, and that's never funny. Not how I can work. But then I kind of found my voice and what I want to talk about, and I think I became the best. That's been maybe a couple of years that I can say, okay, I'm at my best, just because at some point I just didn't care anymore. There's no other way I can describe it. I think at some points I was still kind of clinging to, I want everybody to like me, but that's impossible. And then I realized that people will hate me anyway.
If someone doesn't like you, I remember John Cleary saying this, so what? Like, so what? There's loads of people I don't like.
But also,
loads of people
if
who don't
somebody
like
doesn't
you.
like you,
No, but I mean,
it means that you exist. That he actually
but it's not. But really,
that you're relevant.
Yeah, but you just need to approach. Okay, it's okay. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. Nothing bad's going to happen. They don't like it. That's fine. But the thing is, I've seen you a few times. You are very likable.
Well, you know,
you're very likable.
Thank you.
I fucking like you.
Okay, I like you too. Okay, this is getting dangerous right now.
No, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with liking somebody. It's just as like I know.
I can be
I feel the date coming up for David.
with me.
I'm joking.
Yeah, but it's not funny, Han. It's quite hurtful for both of us.
Yeah, because we feel the chemistry. We just don't like each other in that way.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
we
terrible. No, I mean, I understand.
We can get close, but we can't touch.
No.
Actually,
We touch with our minds.
We touch with our minds. Get your just no, but I was thinking, you know, I guess the most common conversation in the world. What do you think it is? The most commonly shared conversation all around the world. It's the weather.
Oh yeah.
And you know. When I was younger, I just thought people are so stupid. You know, oh, it might rain, you know. But all over the world, in France, oh, c'est chaud, c'est froid, you know, in Japanese, whatever. But the thing is, people do want to connect with each other in a non-confrontational way. So the weather is the best conversation so it's like social preening. It's like verbal preening. You know, when macaques they sort of pick flies out of each other and they bond. So it's a good way to get close, but not too close that you're going to hurt yourselves. Like, you know, in relationships, people get too fucking close. I love you. And then it doesn't last because it's, get the fuck out of my underpants. So me and Martina want to be close, but not too close.
No underpants involved. That was like, I'm glad how we came to macaques, to underpants, to not being too close. I think that this was perfect. It's just.
Was it shocking to people when when you started off in Slovenia, or were people kind of really into it and just so relieved?
At first it got really big really fast. Just because it was something really new.
Okay.
So it was crazy. But then again, I confused people very much. Because I had these two parts to my stand-up. The first part, like 10 minutes, was me being fat. Like, look, I'm fat. I'm still fat. Look at me being fat. Just so I would kind of get them on my side.
Yeah.
And then I would start talking about my girlfriend. And they would freeze completely. Like the silence. You could hear a pin drop. They were like, can you go back to being fat? That was fun. Yeah.
And they did.
So I was the only person talking about it in Slovenia back then. I was one of the few person actually being openly lesbian or gay. So that's what I mean, like from everybody. Like they would, like the only person that would in media talking about it, right? But for me, it was just simple. I didn't even think about it. It wasn't like an activist kind of thing. It was for me. It was like, well, all these male stand-up comedians are talking about their girlfriends. I want to talk about my girlfriend also. I had no idea it's going to be a big deal because I'm an idiot. But it was a big deal, you know. So people would freeze completely. So I would have to get them back every time again. And I would have people after the shows coming to me, but you're not really a lesbian, are you, right?
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like, well, not for you, sir. I don't know what to say.
But in a
now.
way, you can skillfully play around with that awkwardness.
I liked it. I like that part of it, actually to get them back and to be likable to them again. Because I lost them completely. I felt the stiffness in them when I said it for the first time.
So what is it now?
But it's good to
Like,
acknowledge the stiffness, is what I'm trying to say. Because that's what a lot of comedians, when they're young, starting off, they're talking about whatever it is. And if they lose the audience, or if they create that in the audience, they kind of pretend that they haven't, and they continue to the next joke or the next thing, and the audience are still there, and they're not listening to the next thing.
You have to go directly to them and be like, now it's not fun anymore.
Right.
Go be fat again, Martina, right? That's when you liked me, right?
Yeah,
and
yes,
they were like, no, we're still, okay. Now we can continue the conversation, right?
But I thought Slovenia would have been very kind of chilled out as regards sexuality.
but that was 2005. What is it like now? Has it changed?
Yeah. It changed a lot when it comes to laws. Like we can marry now and stuff like that.
I thought they didn't give a shit about all that stuff.
No, but
what's the religion in Slovenia?
Catholic.
Oh, okay, well there you go.
But listen, like Ireland was the most Catholic country you could ever imagine. We used to have Taoiseach, who was openly gay. Prime Minister who was gay.
Yeah, we won't have that.
Like nowadays, I work in television, and nowadays you almost have to be gay to work there.
So do you have any job
trendy.
openings?
No, it's trendy. It's like trendy to be gay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not in Slovenia still now. I think we have this polite thing that Slovenians have. Like they won't say it to your face, but you will kind of feel it. I kind of had feelings in some, like, I don't know, I would be a guest on a TV show, and they'd be like, so what will you talk about, Martina? I'm like, well, I don't know yet. Well, I don't know. So you're doing like a 2-3 minute stand-up. So what's the stand-up going to be about? I'm like, well, stuff. So what kind of stuff? So I was I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to be too gay for TV, right? It's a daytime station. I was like, well, I'm not going to pull out like a vagina and be like, oh, look, this is a vagina. Let me tell you about it. It's 3 p.m., it's a family show.
Well, I think what Anna's talking about in certainly in daytime television, it's a very kind of theatrically there's a campness to, like, gay men work very well in daytime TV,
because they know I'm threatening. They are, like soft, and they.
So, like, the way as a lesbian, like I'm attracted to women. What are you attracted to? The same things that I'm attracted, like physically?
Well, I don't know. What are you attracted to?
Well, I like a big ass.
Okay.
I like. Do you know the shape of a woman's the shape of a woman's bottom? No, but it's almost like sometimes when you see a really well put together backside, posterior bottom, it almost makes me feel like God exists.
Oh, so you see God in essence. That's what you're saying. Good.
Yes.
Well,
no. Anyway, look, I'm being but what do you find physically?
It's just quite poetic what you said.
What do you physically find attractive about women?
Physically, it's a smile. I think
I'm
very much about the face. I can't tell you. Seriously, no, it's not boobs or asses for me. I'm sorry. I know many lesbians that can tell you precisely what they like. I'm just not into it. For me, it's definitely the smile and the face, and I'm done.
Oh, so you're because you've been in long-term relationships, so that's very sweet that you're like really fixed in.
Well, she's gonna listen to this. Do you want to get me in trouble?
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well,
I don't even see any women anymore.
Okay. No, I was just kind of curious. I don't even know how to ask the question. I'm sure I'm being in a very clumsy way, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I mean, I'm just wondering. They talk about the male, gaze, what they're looking at and what they like to look at. And long may it continue in a way that's not pissing off the women that are being looked at. But I'm just trying to say, I wonder what, what's it like
but I think
through the eyes of a lesbian?
There is a female gaze that we talk, like lesbians talk about a lot on the internet, is different than a male gaze, definitely. It's not as critical usually as the male gaze seems to be.
Critical?
Yeah.
Oh, right. If you don't have this type of ass or these tits
then
or
it's
small.
done.
Right.
Because, if I would go into my past about the girls I like, they were very different, but they had a couple of things in common. It wasn't necessarily physical. You know, I really,
the
but I really,
personality.
personality for me is big because I really need someone with a sense of humor and someone that's intelligent, or I get bored in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't need intelligence. I don't. I don't need,
You just need some.
Can you just stand up and show the audience your ass, just so we know?
No, hello, this is my new girlfriend. It's terrible. Yeah, no, we talk. It's funny though. Relationships are weird. You know, you see this. Kanye West and his girlfriend. What's her name? What's her name?
I think Bianca Sensori.
Bianca Sensori. And it looks like it's a very dominatrix type of relationship. You know,
It looks like, but I'm not sure it is. Like, she's well aware what she's doing.
Yeah, but she's that's
got,
what I'm saying is she is a willing participant in it.
Oh yeah.
You see, but
it's staged.
But from an observer's point of view, it would look like, oh God, he's like Svengali and he's controlling her. But there are people are into all that stuff. Like they're into you know kneel over there in the corner, kind of carry on, and I'll tie you up, and that's the only way they can reach heightened passion and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but maybe they keep it probably to their private life.
Yeah, but he does it openly.
But you never know. Like, you see, she turns around, she takes off.
Oh,
the
who gives a
coat,
fuck? Yeah,
but
I
think it's all staged.
Yeah, but in 2025, like it's funny. Like we lived in Denmark for 6 years. If a woman does that in Copenhagen, nobody gives a fuck. You know, they're so uninhibited.
Body is just a body kind of thing.
Yeah, like they just don't care, do they, Hannah? Remember?
No.
What do you think of the relationship between what is it?
Kanye West and Bianca.
Yeah, no, it's very. I think it's weird. All right, like the way he kind of parades her around, like and it's sort of
like a trophy.
Yeah, that kind of way.
But that's actually, Kanye West does not need a trophy because he's a trophy himself. Like, he's so big, he's so prolific, and like he had,
he's quite bonkers. It seems.
Yeah, but he's bonkers as well. So he needs a woman who, he's a little bit bonkers.
She's very attractive, though, lads, isn't she?
I don't know.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know, just a bit too much.
No, she's right. You see, that's the thing. Maybe at my age, I'm kind of quite lesbian in my tastes. I just whatever.
You like inflamed lips.
No, I like anything that's alive.
Anything that's alive
and moves.
And moves.
And moves. Oh my God, you're in a desperate position, David, because the time is
like
ticking.
a leaf fluttering in the wind.
A leaf fluttering in the wind. So you decided to come to Ireland. Why particularly Ireland?
No idea. Actually, I came here in April. It was my birthday. Always wanted to see it. Yeah. I always wanted to see it. I was thinking of just going somewhere. It has to be an English-speaking country.
So there's only two: England, Great Britain, and Ireland.
Well, there's still the States and Canada.
Oh yeah, but in Europe.
But in Europe, yeah. And then I came here, and I kind of like the feel of it. I kind of felt that it's bigger, but it's not too big. For me, I'm coming from a small town, just something huge with like 12, 14 million people. Would be
I know what you mean, yeah, because London is overwhelming.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I've been to London like 4 or 5 times and I had a great time. It's not a problem, but I couldn't imagine me living there. That's a completely different kind of thing.
I remember I said to you, I like that shirt you're wearing, and you said, I said, why didn't you? No, not the
leather one.
The leather one, and you said you bought. It's not leather for what reason?
Because I'm gonna buy leather when I lose some more weight. Because I'm gonna lose some more weight.
And you said that you lost loads of weight.
Yeah, 40 kilos. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know.
But I can't believe. Sorry, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm. Everybody reacts like that. Jesus. You're quite small, so that's big.
I was very big, yeah. I was very, very big, yeah. Of course. I mean, it kind of piled up through lots and lots and lots of years. I had lots of health problems. I had lots of problems.
Because of your size?
No, because of my hormones. That's how I got to the size I was in.
Hannah, didn't you have some hormone stuff? What?
Yeah, I've got hormones circulating in my body, and so do you. Well, when it's imbalance.
Oh yeah.
Then you have to.
Can we not
address
talk about it?
No, like
Uh-huh.
like but what like
No.
because it's like you just can't just put hormones in one basket. You know, there's different types of hormones, and everybody should.
Huh? You could just say, I don't want to talk. Do you not want to talk about?
But what am I going to talk about? That I have underactive thyroid.
There you go. That's all.
And then you take.
Why
But
can't you-
I don't think it's actually my case that's such a big thing. But I think there are.
Hannah, we have to talk about boring topics. Okay, look.
The football filter to sleep.
Oh God, it's just no. I should just embrace Hannah and just accept her. I love. Yes. Okay. Martina.
Yes.
Yeah. 40 kilograms. That's a lot. That's a lot.
That is a lot, yeah.
So so how do you feel now? Do you feel much better?
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to walk, definitely. No, it was really weird because when I was younger, I was actually very into sports. Like I played basketball semi-professionally, which is weird because I'm small. I played everything that I could, and I really loved it. And then I started getting fat, but they don't take it seriously when you're younger because they're like, yeah, whatever, hormones, it's gonna get better. But it never got better. And it just came to a point when I tried everything, did all the diets and did everything, and I had personal
Ozempic?
trainers. I did all of it. Like, give me the drug that you have that's gonna help me. I'm doing it. I didn't care anymore. And at some point, it just came to I really didn't want to do the surgery.
Did you go to a doctor and
Yeah.
did they check your? So
they
what did he
tried,
say?
my,
or she?
my hormones were very fucked up.
So you have to. Do you have to take stuff?
Yeah, still have to take pills for my thyroid also. And stuff like that, but it just wasn't getting better. And at some point, I had no idea what to do now, and I came to my doctor. I was like, "Is there any other way I can try to do it?" Because I really didn't want to get a surgery. For me, it was like quitting, because like I will do it myself because I'm a stubborn person. And yeah, they said, "No, look, the only solution is this. You can try. I mean, that's gonna definitely work."
What is what?
Gastric bypass. Yeah,
So
And have you done it?
yeah.
So they shrink or they cut a large part of your stomach
Yeah,
out?
a part of the stomach, they shrink it and they connect it differently. So that's why it's a bypass and connect it differently. And that means that you can just take in a small amount of food, well, much smaller. I mean, your stomach does get bigger for time. So you can still, again, stretch it out if you're not doing it, if you're not watching what you eat.
Do you not get those pangs of hunger as much?
I mean, you still get hungry, but it's not as much, and you get full much faster. And you really have to be careful about what you eat, because you can just eat a small amount of food, so you have to eat the right food. So you don't get, if you just eat junk food, then that's going to do nothing for your body, and you're going to feel terrible.
But listen,
Do you have to eat more often than?
Yeah.
Oh,
You actually eat like the doctors recommend, like 5 times a day kind of thing. You actually then, this forces you. Because if I don't eat for like 2 or 3 hours, I don't feel that well. It doesn't have to be anything big. Just like a small thing.
So are you happier because of after the bypass?
I'm much happier. I'm much happier just because I feel better. I didn't like the whole thing. For me, it was never about the food, because people were always confused when they would go on a vacation with me, and they were like, "We kind of expected you to be eating all the time." I'm like, "No, I eat less than you. It's not that thing. It's about how my body works." Right?
So it really does. So most people think that's a bullshit. That some people actually are very very overweight, not because of the amount of food they eat.
Exactly, and that happens actually a lot of time. And basically, my doctors were like, "Look, you have to do something about it." And I mean, I'm 43. If I don't do anything now, then in 10 years, my knees will go. I won't be able, to do. And for me, the motivation is always stand up. That's why I stopped smoking, because of stand-up comedy, because it was hurting my voice, and there was a real possibility that I would lose my voice, and that's why I stopped smoking. And for me, it was like, maybe in 10 years I won't be able to get on stage anymore. So what I'm going to do then, because I really love this job. And for me, it was like, okay, I guess, we're getting surgery. So that's why I said I'm going to still lose weight, because this is only like I've been 8 months, and the real weight is after like 2 years. You can settle on your weight.
That's so exciting.
So we'll see. So I'm going to be a skinny bitch soon. It's going to be terrible. I'm going to be a terrible person. I'm just going to be it's going to be crazy.
Why do you say that? Because you'll be so skinny and
Yeah, and I'll be like, oh my God, don't look at me. I'm so fat. I'm going to say all that stupid shit that really skinny people say, skinny women. They're like, oh my God, I look fat in this. I'm like, you've got 40 kilos. Just shut up.
Yeah.
Like people would say that to me, like really beautiful women would be like, oh my God, I gained weight. I was like, oh, fuck off.
I know, I hate it as well.
Yeah, I was like, you look great, and it just,
And Hannah, turn that off.
Oh.
What the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
She's just bored with us and watching videos.
No,
while
I
talking
don't.
to
It's
us.
just like the work.
So what about how much material did you have about how much material did you have about being fat?
There was usually an intro in my stand-up shows was about that.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some of it. Just because when you cannot win as a fat stand-up comedian. If you talk about it, they're like, why are you talking about it? It's something you have to love yourself. If you don't talk about it, well, you should kind of talk about it because you're huge when you come on stage. It is the first thing that people see. If I don't mention it, they'll be like thinking it for the last. She's fat. See, there is no win-win situation. Whatever you do, you don't win. So I would do that at the beginning. Be like a couple of jokes of that, and they'd be like, "Are we okay now? Let's move on." Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it is a good idea. If there is some identifying characteristic, it's always good to just point it out and then move on.
Yeah, and okay, we're done with that now. You saw it. Let's just, And it kind of gave me the permission to make fun of everybody else, because I think you need to be able to make fun of yourself to gain permission to make fun of everybody else, because they were like, well, if she's this bitchy to herself, then, everything's on the table kind of thing.
I did a festival in Sligo and I was doing this gig. There was a woman sitting in the front row on her own, and I just went for her, kind of like like Hannah, and people were laughing, and it's very weird when you see the whole audience laughing, and then you look at the person that you've been making fun of, and they're just like, I mean, she was so pissed off, so angry, like Hannah right now.
I was embarrassed for you.
Okay. Oh, thanks. Thank you. That's nice. Anyway, so, but after the show, like she happened to be there and she was, I said, you didn't enjoy the show? No, I didn't. No, she was from Canada. No, I didn't. No. Why did you have to pick me out? You were relentless, and she was so upset and unhappy. Have you done that where you've...
Is that the punchline?
Hey, Martina, have you done that like where you wouldn't really necessarily go for people too hard, would you?
I go for them if they started first. then it's no mercy.
Right.
Then it's to the end. Then I'm winning, or somebody's. We're not living here. No.
Have you ever got into a physical confrontation with somebody? No.
I would never go in a physical conversation. I usually try to crush them emotionally.
But have they never? Has somebody never? Hasn't no one ever stood up and said "fuck you" or something? Or?
No, it usually comes to a point where at some point actually the audience turns against them, and they're like, "Now you shut up because you lost." I actually had that, like a person just yelling at me the whole time, and we kind of went back and forward, and it was just getting really stupid. And I was like, I don't have time for this shit, right? And I just said to the audience, "Did you notice it's always the guys with the smallest dicks that have the most to say, because they have a problem with their ego or something." And everybody laughed, and he wanted to say something again, and actually, really, the audience stood up, and they were like, "Now you shut up, because we want to hear the rest of her. We don't want to hear anymore."
Yeah.
And he left. And after the show, he was like, "No, I'm actually a theater director, and I wanted to see how we're going to handle it." I was like, "No, you're not. Never heard about you. You're nothing, just..."
The people that heckle you always tend to come up to you after the show and try and kind of find solidarity, like somehow... I helped your show, didn't I?
Yeah, like,
yeah.
Because they didn't pay to see you guys.
But I love that when the audience intervene and they tell, it's almost like somebody stands up to heckle the heckler. It's a nice feeling.
So I just have a question. So what's like to perform in English? You used to do it in Slovenian, in Croatian. Yeah. So you speak both Slovenian and Croatian. And changing to English, what's the difference?
It's different because you can't just translate it and go with it. You have to figure out what works here, because there are different topics and different personalities and different everything, actually different experience that we had growing up. Definitely. So there are some things that I cannot use here, and I'm just trying to figure out what works, what doesn't, and how to say it and what would be the best thing to do. It's different, but it's so much fun. I feel like I'm doing it again, for the first time.
But we're talking about, that's the subject matter or topics. But actually, I mean, what's it like being you, speaking English as a third language? Hannah,
I like it.
Let go. I'll edit that stuff out, Hannah.
What you do? Just stop it. It's ridiculous. I worry about you.
This reminds me, Martina. Oh no, I don't even want to talk about it. Okay.
No, let's not. Let's get back to me speaking English.
Sorry. Is it?
I mean, it helps that I really like the English language.
Okay.
I like it. I really like it. I think it's got lots of possibility to play with it, which I'm really looking to kind of tap into. I was, I learned English since I was maybe 5 or 6 years old, just because I liked it. I always watched English TV and stuff like that. That's just kind of my thing. That's why I like it. That's one of the reasons why I'm here, because I want to play with that a little bit. But I just need to get a little more confidence, because I realized now when I had a couple of shows that the problem is I'm in my head too much about the English I'm speaking, and then the energy doesn't come through.
Yes.
And yesterday was the first show that I did, and I was like, just forget about it. If you say something wrong, it doesn't matter.
Right.
People will understand you in the end.
Well, actually, it's very funny if you fuck up.
Exactly.
And those fuck ups sometimes become really golden routines.
Exactly. So that's
fuck ups are golden routines of the future.
Look at you.
What's annoying as well about people who speak different languages, you'll say, well, it's really a word that only works in. There's no real equivalent in English. The way they say that, they say there's words like stimmt in German, or genau, or Schadenfreude, and there's no real direct translation. And I guess, are there words that in Slovenian, I'm sure there's one or two phrases that you wish you could translate. I mean, that there's no real translation.
I mean, there are some that I can't use. Like one of the stupid Slovenian saying for fat people, right, would be debeli so veseli, because it rhymes. So it means that fat people are happy people, right? But it rhymes in Slovenian, and it's actually a phrase that you would hear people say. And I would be like, I hate when people say that about fat people. Of course we're happy because we have to be. We can't be depressed and
Wait
fat.
a second. So that's
gonna fuck us, you know what I mean? Can you imagine, look at her, she's fat and crying. Yeah, that's what I like. You know what I mean? Of course we're happy.
So I fucked that up because I interrupted you, Hannah. I interrupted Martina.
You really need help.
But see, the difference is I interrupt him back.
Hey, look, Martina.
Yeah.
Are you telling the world here, our huge viewership, that it's an acceptable phrase in Slovenia to say fatty people are happy? I was going to say fatty people are happy people.
Yeah, but yeah.
So that's kind of like
that's like a saying,
and you can say that nowadays.
There would be no problem. They would be like, look, the fat people are happy. Like they would be like the ones in the company usually, like laughing the most and like being the funny ones. And I'm like, yeah, because that's the survival mechanisms, guys. If they were fat as kids and they were being beat up, they had to be funny.
But people, overweight people aren't necessarily happy, huh?
Yeah, but you have to just don't look at it literally.
That's funny. You could make up phrases, like you could say, we have lots of weird phrases that are so socially acceptable. Like dead people are sexy or something.
Well, that's only for you. I think that's not that much of a phrase as.
Bresnica co sniada.
But but truly, the translation, you don't translate literally.
What are strange phrases in Polish?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
I'm sure you've got some, because all these countries are crazy.
Well, in Ireland we'd say, what is it? Nilain hin hon mar the hin hon fein or something. What is it? There's no fireplace like your own fireplace. There's no fireplace like, but people make it sexual, and it's like there's no arsehole like your own arsehole or something. And the Pogues was Pogue Mahone, which meant kiss me arse in Irish, and the Pogues, that's a punk band, which means kiss. Okay, Oh yeah, I never thought about that. And what other weird phrases are there now?
No, I'm just trying to think about it. I can't remember right now. I'm gonna tell you when I remember. But yeah, I mean, weird.
What
Definitely.
okay, well that's a what weird word what's a good English word that you wouldn't have in Slovenian?
I don't know. I'll have to think about it a little bit. But sometimes in Slovenia, I actually need a few words to describe like what's a single word in English.
Yeah, it's
So
more
it takes-
descriptive.
Oh, yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, so it takes because I mean I think there are probably more words in an English language than in Slovenian, so that's the difference.
But you do see you speak like you are obviously very good at languages. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. I'm really good at things that I'm interested at. That I excel at those. If I'm not interested, then
What's the capital of Slovenia?
Ljubljana.
Did you know that, Hannah?
Yes, because I looked it up and I used to remember, but
What do you know about Ljubljana, Daniel?
Not enough, apparently. Yeah, I'd like to know more.
it's a sweet name, Ljubljana. Like I like it.
Yeah, because ljubiti in Slovenian
Ljubiti
means love.
Yeah.
And is that where you live?
No, I live in Maribor. It's a second biggest town in Slovenia. Yeah.
And a nice place to live.
Well, lots of mountains and air and stuff. It's kind of more of a city
Do you
you
not think
go
we
to
have?
retire.
Do you not think we have fucking air in
No,
Ireland?
that's just amazing air. I mean, the first time I came here, I was like, oh my God, look at the air. And that's why I stayed. I was like, the air is just, mind blowing.
And do you have a house or an apartment there?
Like a house. Yeah, a little bit.
What
Not
are
a small one.
What are your neighbors like?
Perfect. They're our friends, so it's good. We bought like half of their house just before moving here. Yeah, because they had like a empty whole part of a house completely empty, so we bought it from them and completely, got it and did everything, put everything new just before moving here. So yeah.
And do you have a garden?
Yes, we have a garden also. Yeah.
Do you grow vegetables?
No, I hate gardening. I mean, I love to see when somebody else does it and then it grows, then I like it, but I just really don't want to deal with it. I just like, no. No. And I'm never home. That's the problem because I'm always traveling, gigging and stuff. So you actually have to take care of that. So,
So
You've rented it out now, have you?
nah.
You haven't rented it?
No, because I still have to go back every couple of months to do shows.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So, why?
So
Maybe
what
you
was
should-
your plans for Ireland? Like, do you want to travel, do open mic?
Well, basically it was this podcast and now I'm moving back. I did it all now. That's it. No, for me it's just to perform as much, to get that feeling of stand-up comedy again, that real fun. I really wanted it to be fun again. After 20 years of doing the same stuff, I kind of forgot that fun part of it, and I really wanted to do it, wanted to challenge myself again, and I'm getting that back. I really loved it. Yesterday I was doing like 7 minutes, instead of 5, and I was like, well, look at me doing 7. And it went well, and I was then excited because it went well, and everybody told me it went well. I was like, are you sure? And it was like, yeah, cool, we'll call you back. And I got that excitement again, that I had when I was starting.
God, so many people must be in your situation right now as we speak. They're in their comfort zone and they're bored and they're not challenged and they're just thinking, and they're probably thinking, I'm going to, but you've actually done it. You've taken the leap, taken yourself out of your comfort zone, and you're challenging yourself.
And now I'm risking a lot. I mean, it could go terrible. I could be like, I'll definitely be here for a year. I rented the apartment.
You've given yourself a time frame.
Time frame for something to happen. I'm not saying something really big has to happen, but I'm guessing maybe in a year if I get like a first paid gig. I didn't say how much it has to pay, just a little bit, so I see it's moving somewhere. Perfect. I can still.
So in other words, if I give you a paid gig, you'll fuck off then back to Slovenia. No.
Of course not. Then I'm staying definitely.
That's so inspiring. I said that to you when you were saying that. I think that's just brilliant because I do feel a bit stuck myself. I want to do Edinburgh this year. Go and do like get a little place and what do they call it? Free fringe. A lot of comedians are doing that, and they
thinking about that.
They do.
Also,
what do they call it? Workout shows, or what do they call those shows where you
shows in progress?
Work in progress shows.
Yeah.
But it would be uncomfortable and it would be risky and all those things. But I think to keep yourself vital or
You need to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You need to be feel uncomfortable to actually.
Well, you don't need to,
to,
but I think it's very good for you creatively.
Creatively, because you're stuck in a rut. There's nothing to talk about anymore.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it was one of those things like during lockdown, where people were like, "Well, you had like 2 years of time because when we locked down, we locked down. Slovenia does not fuck around about this, right? So we weren't allowed to leave houses or anything. So people would be like thinking, so this is very productive. You had 2 years to write. I was like, yeah, but write about what?
Yeah, nothing's happening.
Like,
There's no
look at me.
inspiration.
So today I came to the fridge. I'm at the fridge again, So
but you've done.
But that's good. I like that.
Comedy
Today I'm at
Central.
Yeah.
Stand Up and More.
Yeah.
How was it?
Well, that was a show that was shot in Serbia.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. It was comedians from Serbia and Croatia and me from Slovenia. And that was like a show that had stand-up comedy, that had some improvisation, and had some like
was
a roast.
it in English?
No, it was actually in Croatian. So for me, the weirdest part is because then it was shown in Slovenia, so they would translate me speaking Croatian to Slovenia and never asked me about the translations of my own jokes.
Oh,
so I would look at the translations of my own joke for Croatian, so I was like, well, this is just weird.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't right translation.
Yeah, but the thing is, because this was Comedy Central Extra, so that was watched a lot. Like, the further east you would go, like, the bigger viewership would be. So nobody watched it in Slovenia, nobody cared. Like, Croatia, a little bit, in Serbia still. For some reason, it was big in Bulgaria. Nobody know. And Romania, I guess, which I learned because I was doing a corporate gig. And I was like, and I always ask, do you have any people that are foreign? So I just at least can say hi to them, in English or something. I was like, yeah, we have this guy, business partner from Romania. I was like, oh, that's fine, cool. And I said hi to them. And he comes after the show to me and he's like, can I take a picture with you? I was like, oh, you want to have the picture of the Slovenian comedian? He's like, no, my friends won't believe me that I saw you in person. I was like, this is just weird. For some reason, it got big there. I mean, but they have some.
So they translated the jokes, yeah?
Yeah, but I mean, they had to put the Slovenian subtitles for Slovenia because I was doing it in Croatian. But for me, it was still weird to see my jokes being translated. I was doing it in Croatian. Now we translated it into Slovenian. Nobody called me and said, Martina, do you want to have any input about how your jokes are? And then I was just looking at it.
Hannah, can I talk?
Yes.
Hannah, no, there's nothing wrong with me. If I want to put you down or attack you in a theatrical way, you should take it on the chin and instead of doing this, but instead of doing this, look, this kind of like, like a cheerleader having an emotional breakdown, kind of like, no, I'm fine. Creating all this weird argument. You should be. This is a comedy. Go with it. Ray, huh?
But maybe you should step out your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And
but you don't have to
stop doing the same thing over and over
But
again.
that's what people tune in for.
That you're doing the same thing. Oh, it's just David.
Hannah, Hannah, I'm telling you, we need to have a chat after this, folks. I'm so sorry. We need to take this podcast back to the factory and reset it. I'm so sorry, Martina, that you had to see this. This is our 111th podcast, but that's very interesting. Corporate gigs.
Yeah.
How do you find corporate gigs?
It can be either really terrible or really good.
What is so terrible about Can you explain to the muggles out there what is so terrible about a corporate gig?
It depends on really about how they are in the corporation they're in. Like, if they hate each other, then...
Wait. Yeah. If they hate each other, right? Yeah. So the dynamic in this big corporation is terrible, right? Yeah. They don't, but they're doing it. They have to work, whatever. Yeah. And they have this monthly or maybe twice yearly meeting, and they're trying to bond. And they don't want to fucking be there.
No, they want to be there, but they have to be
there.
They
have to be there.
So in Slovenia, because we really love drinking, it's like, let me see if I can drink enough. So it kind of makes up for all the shit they're doing to me.
I've written about this.
Yeah.
And I haven't done it 20. See, Slovenian Irish comedians, we have the same trauma.
Yeah, and
we're bonding,
terrible.
Hannah.
And it's terrible because they don't want to listen to you.
But let me break that one down. So, so you have a corporate gig. So people say, oh, it's great, you have a corporate gig. Well, first of all, the people don't like each other. So they're going to this venue, Hannah, right? They don't want to be there. They don't like each other. And they resent everything. So the comedian comes on stage, fuck that person. They're part of the reason why I don't want to be here. So they drink. There's a free bar, and so they're trying to drink the profits that they feel they didn't get.
Do you know?
Amazing punchline.
Oh, that's the thing that you hurt so much about.
I hurt.
Yeah, because you were just, but it's
I'm
good.
just
You were just
mirroring
waffling
you.
on, and I just called you up on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
that's
just
okay.
waffling on.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm waffling on, Hannah. But look, I'm not going to go like this. Look. This is say there was no punchline. I'll do mirror. Come on, tell me there was no punchline there.
There's no punchline.
What's wrong with you, Hannah? Why are you doing this to me? That's what you did. Suddenly, we're in a fucking crisis trauma center.
Let me just tell you about the worst experience.
Yeah, but I want to just bond with you here about this thing. They're
do it.
drinking. But you don't understand. I know. But
I mean, at some point
they're drinking. So they feel they haven't got enough money in their paycheck. So in their head they're thinking, "Fuck, let's drink as much as we can." Fucking idiots. And so sorry.
Yeah, so you're there, and you have to speak your stuff, and you agree for like 20 minutes. That's all I agreed to in corporate gigs. I'm like, 20 minutes, you're done. And you're trying to speak, and nobody listens to you, maybe like 5 people, like the ones that hired you, and you like have to pretend that you're fine with that, because I'm not. There are some comedians that don't really care. They're like, I do my 20 minutes, they talk in a wall, they could be in a wall or empty, they don't care. They get their money and they leave. I'm not that kind of person, and I hate it. But the worst one ever was when the director of the company, before my show, he has to introduce me. So he stands up. It's like the biggest corporate or the most corporate gigs are in December, right, in Slovenia, because everybody has like the December Christmas parties, and And so before me coming on, and everybody knows they had to pay me something, he stands up and said, there will be no Christmas bonuses this year. Just so you know, he tells it to all the people, and now Martina Ipsa.
Oh, great. So,
and I'm like, kill me now.
Are you fucking joking me?
No, I'm serious.
I don't understand. Was he joking?
No. He had this whole speech about it's been a hard year, and so there'll be no Christmas bonuses, but we've got to stand up for you.
You mean as a way of sort of making it better?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
I'm like, this is
anger,
not better.
so.
Like, at least, buy them a stripper. It was like male collective. I'm like, they didn't want to see a fat woman trying to make them laugh.
So go on. So what was that like, that gig? Was it just the worst?
It was, like
a funeral.
It was terrible in a way, but some people were actually laughing, which was weird. And then one guy was pissed already, and he started yelling something at me, and I was just shut up. I won't hear you anymore.
Did you acknowledge what your man had said? Did you say?
Yeah, I was like, thank you for this intro. Now everybody was gonna hate me. Like,
did they laugh then when you said?
Yeah, because they were like, okay, we understand where you're coming from. But I was like, how can you do this? Like, what's the point of this?
But I've done I did one recently, corporate, but before that I hadn't done them for 10, 15 years. I just refused to do them. But I remember like at one corporate gig, this is many, many years ago, and just like this group at the table, and they're just miserable and they're pissed. They don't want to be there. It's kind of a weird extension of their workplace, and they're just sitting around a table. And I'm trying to do my stand-up show, and I just remember just one guy kind of like that, just kind of looking at me like with it was like somebody from hell just looking up and just gave me this horrible stare. It was quite disconcerting, Hannah. So you're
punchline.
But you're a tough audience now. She's a tough audience.
Punchline.
Hannah, you do, Hannah.
I think that's
you're
out of your comfort zone.
But,
did you rent Edinburgh yet? Did you rent it? Or you just let it pass by?
But it's so funny.
Are you just talking about it?
I don't look. It's fair enough. I'm fair, easy target. Go for me, whatever. But don't do this. Don't do this. Look. You really. What's wrong with you?
I think I was far away from crying.
Yeah, well, you look like
I was so embarrassed.
Embarrassed my arse, man.
Can I just suggest for your fringe show to be I'm so embarrassed?
Yeah, I'm so embarrassed. Oh yeah, those corporates, wowzers.
But some of them were amazing.
Yes.
But some of them really cool.
Okay, well the thing I learned is about this corporate that I did recently for Savills real estate company. So I rang up the guy And I chatted, like, who's the head honcho? How many people are there? What's the relationship? Name somebody who's... So just get a bit of local knowledge and make it personal to them and tailor it a bit to them. And also, what state are they going to be in when I get there? What time? You know, you need to do... Oh, yes. And the worst thing they do in corporates is... well, no, Martina, you're going to be a surprise.
Oh,
fuck off.
Yeah.
Because but the thing is, normally when we're doing stand-up, we're doing it to people, individuals who've come specifically to see stand-up in a stand-up comedy club. If you walk on stage to people who are, you know, not interested in stand, a lot of people are like, whatever. So I made sure that he knew that there was going to be a stand-up comedian there, and gave them the option of not going to the event. So the people that were there.
Just come in as just one person at the
table.
table.
There was one person.
But that's fine.
Outside smoking.
Oh, she senses vulnerability and straight in. Did you see that? Like a vicious assassin from communist Poland. There was only
That's
one.
amazing, David. Congratulations. You've done well for yourself.
What's wrong with you?
Have some
Why are you doing this to me
Lucozade.
in front of Martina? You're making me feel small.
I actually,
You clipped
Martina,
my
I
ring.
actually listened to one of your jokes. I'm not, and it was about you parking a car.
Yeah.
And then the guy, there was a man watching
out,
you,
yeah.
and then first he's friendly, and then you're doing some mistake,
He
and then
starts
start
yelling, yeah.
hissing, and then
Hissing?
hissing.
Yeah. He doesn't even say anything. He does something much worse. He's like,
Oh, yeah.
that's worse.
That's not
And
hissing.
then it's funny
Hannah,
you said
oh, sorry. I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean to hit you that hard. I'm
This is getting violent.
sorry, Anna. No,
you're
look,
really
I meant
not
to do
well
it.
today.
I meant to do it like this. Look,
Yeah,
Look.
you're really not well today. And then you said
Hissing-
it would be
hissing-
the same
hissing
if
is-
if you walk through his bedroom
And did the same
tell
thing.
him
How would he feel? Yeah.
how he performed. in-
yeah, okay. You're walking Martina through a routine that she did. She knows the routine that she did. The people listening don't know. So why don't you tell the routine? And first of all, hissing is this. This is not hissing. That's inhalation of breath. Let's get it right.
That was very important for this moment. I think. I learned a lot in
Well,
this
can
podcast.
you tell the story about the?
Yeah, it's about-
Is this happened in real life?
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
So it's about parallel parking. I do this bit about how people think I'm a man just because I have short hair and stuff. And I talk about advantages of being a woman, but the only thing that I can't really do is parallel park, which in Slovenia is a big deal, you know, because all the men, but yeah, the women can't park. And I said that I hate that, and which I'm trying to park, and the guy comes out, and he just like inhalation of breath,
Right.
like no hissing.
Yeah.
He does like. And then, I'm trying to ignore him. I start parking again. He does it again. I try to ignore him again. And I'm losing my mind a little bit. I'm going to fucking kill him at some point. And he does it again for the third time. And I start yelling, "What are you doing? What kind of technique is that? Who taught you that? Let me do it. I'll do it better." And I'm like, "Man, can you imagine me coming into your bedroom while they're having sex with your girlfriend and being like, 'What are you doing? What kind of technique is that? Who taught you that? Let me do it. I'll do it better.'" I mean, it's true, but it's not nice. you know?
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah, I do a similar routine to that. What, Hannah?
Yeah, I'm just saying, yeah.
Sorry, are men in Slovenia quite macho?
No, they think they are, yeah.
What you mean, like Italians think they're macho, but they're not really.
Yeah,
you mean they're not.
I mean, they think they're really good just because, I mean, like they would do maybe lots of work around the house kind of thing, you know, they'll be like high, but still there's a lot of differences between men and women, and especially in stand-up comedy and stuff like that, but they consider it like a male job. Like there was
Male dominated.
made them a professional, no, but there was a female stand-up comedian was finishing school, and she was doing her master's, I think, on this topic about men and women, and they put out some questions. They said, "Look, if you can go watch a stand-up comedian, you know nothing about a stand-up comedian, no name, but you only know the gender. Who do you think is going to be funnier, man or a woman?" So 96% of all people that answered said a man. They would prefer to see a man. And you would also see that with people asking for gigs. Like they would be like, even corporate gigs, they would be like, well, we have mostly men in our company, so we want a man because they can relate to him, And they would be, women would be like, well, there's only women in the company, so we will like a man.
As a woman, is it weird, going to different clubs and knowing that you will always, in general, be outnumbered by men?
I got used to it. It's not weird anymore.
Yeah, but do you think that would put women on edge a little bit?
I think that's why a lot of women actually quit. Because people get into women do get into stand-up comedy,
Yes.
but less of them stay actually in stand-up comedy because it's a special kind of connection, and sometimes people are not very nice to you if you don't have thick skin. And I'm not talking about when you're on stage, backstage, just all the backstage shit
It's very
going
cliquey,
on.
apparently.
It can be very cliquey. So if that bothers you, then that's gonna be the way. Because I heard lots of women just quitting. They're like, I just can't deal with all the shit that comes with it.
Yeah.
I like performing, but all the shit that comes in the back is just troubling.
I wonder what it is about comedy that seems to, traditionally, hopefully it changes. What is it about comedy that seems to attract men more than women, I wonder?
Well, there are a couple of theories, because as I said, when I'm interested in something, then I kind of research. There's a theory about that humor was always usually what men in power would do, to attract other women, right? Because that's one theory why there are like so many lesbians in stand-up comedy, because it's the same kind of thing, right? So they would use it in like people in position of power, which is, if you look at it culturally, it's normal. Like when a man in 1800s would be from a good standing family, they would be like, go out and spread your seed. And the woman would be like, and you stay and play the piano, And it's really hard to be funny when you're scrubbing the floors, you know what I mean? It's not really that kind of thing. So if you're in that position, so what they say, it's like, if it's that your point of expressing yourself as a man, then you would go on stage and do the same thing, right? And because there are lots of men that would say to a woman, because I have females that are like straight comedians, they say they have a really problem because they have a sense of humor, and men are just not attracted to that mostly. Like a woman that's funny, they're like, no.
Oh, because they feel threatened.
Exactly, because they're not the funniest. Because I'm not saying all men, but the weaker men actually. I have no problem with saying that. Have a problem with the woman being funnier than them. They're like, no, she has to laugh at my jokes. I'm like, but they're not funny.
I'm a weak man then.
There was just a look.
How long have we been broadcasting?
An hour and 10.
Wow. God, that's... Okay, now, Daniel, a question for Martina Ipsa from Daniel Philip Andrews.
So you said you're going to spend about a year here in Ireland?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Then do you think you'll go on to like another country like US or?
Still have no idea. I'll see. So far I like it here, but it's been a month, so what do I know, right? I'm just, as I said, I just want to perform as much as I can. If I like it here, I'm going to stay longer. If I make great connections with people, because that's also why I'm here, because I really want to meet some very cool people, get creative, do some really cool projects. That's what I'm looking forward to. If something happens from that, sure. At some point, I actually got bored and actually enrolled in university also. So if I get accepted in university, then I'm probably going to do that also. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And now a question from Jake. It better be fucking interesting. It better be deep. And it better be good. It better... And so,
but no pressure,
there's no pressure, Jake.
No pressure.
Okay, Jake.
Pressure's for tires, as they say.
Pressure's for tires, isn't it? Jake, actually, that we should have that every week. We should have Jake a little inner city Dublin aphorism. Pressure. Do you get his thing? Pressure is for tires.
Yeah.
You did get it.
There's another version.
Sorry.
There's another version of that. It's pressure's for tires and bra straps.
Nice one, Jakey. Get up there.
You're you're the man.
You're the man. No, go on, Jakey. Let's have a.
Well, actually, just maybe more of a personal question for me. Have you any gigs coming up? Because I'd love to go and
very
see
good,
you, maybe.
very good,
Well,
very good, Jake.
just tiny gigs for now, just open mics and stuff. So I don't recommend you come to this. I'm definitely gonna let you know. And they're gonna be like shows that at least have 7 minutes.
So well, very good question. First of all, Jake, well done.
Thank you very much.
We what do they do when you don't execute? You put off their death, their execution. A stay. He's a stay. Oh, fuck off! Stay of execution. It's not funny. He's my nephew, Hannah. We're gonna have to
I
cut
don't
this.
know what's going on. I think too much jam for you or too little. I'm not sure.
My God, you've changed just because you're in a relationship. Get over yourself. It's embarrassing. And for Martina Navratilova. Martina was a great tennis player in Slovenia, Hannah. Have you ever seen her play tennis?
Yeah, all lesbians play is
no,
just...
except she was the ball.
Oh my God, really? That's the good humor you're known for. Like people will tell me he's a legend of what?
A legend. Oh my God.
A legend of what? Oh, I'm so sorry. We're going to definitely cut that out. It makes me look like such a cunt.
Oh, you are? One?
What were we asking about? We were asking Martina something there.
About shows, something?
Oh yeah, well I think the point is that you're in this. You're here for the first month, so you're really just working stuff out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get as much stage time. Just 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Try different stuff and see what works to get like a decent 20 minutes to get like a different set I can go around with.
Well, this is what I love about I don't know, stand-up comedy. You're from Slovenia, I'm from Ireland. You know what I mean? But we have that common experience. And when I met you first, I instantly liked you. And when I meet people like you, it restores my faith in humanity, Hannah. I'm speaking authentically, and I feel fucking awkward.
Me too, because now I feel under pressure. I'm like,
no, you don't feel under pressure. No, but you know what I mean. You meet certain people, in comedy. Look, I get awkward. Look, and I just instantly. You were just we just straight in. There was no fucking bullshit. We're just chatting, and it was good, and I like it. And other people, they're too cool, or they're too this, or they're they're kind of like you know what I mean. They're a bit up there. And I swear to God, you better change that facial expression. I'm going to kill myself if you don't calm down. Just because I told you to have a fucking point. You know what I mean? I'm not your boyfriend.
Well, I'm not your girlfriend.
Jake is my nephew. I don't like the word. I don't nephew. It's like formal. I'm so upset. Anyway, look, I just want you to thrive here, and it's just a pleasure to have you on. And that's it. Thank you so much, Martina Ipsa.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you. Oh, Jake, Princess Jake, Prince Daniel. The future is yours.
Yup, Elva.
There you go.